Alright everyone, so hey, welcome to Down Home Backyard Gardening. Now today we're going to do a garden tour, actually on the first day of the month. Normally I'm behind on these, but I'm actually going to be on time this month, finally. But what I want to do is do a little different video today. Normally I'll walk around the garden showing what's going on, updates, things that are working, not working, whatever. But today I want to do a garden tour where I'm showing what the garden looked like 3 months ago. So we're going to go back to the May garden tour, and I'm going to try to do side-by-side comparisons. So I'm going to show, say, the sweet potato bed. Then I'm going to show what it looked like back in May, or whatever bed and what it looked like in May. So I'm going to try to bounce back and forth between the two videos. Now, if I had thought of doing this back in May, like I've thought of how to do it today, it would be a slightly different video. But now I have an idea of how I want to do these garden tour videos. Not every month, but every few months. I want to do a comparisons, especially with the seasons. Now that summer is, I guess we're a little over halfway through summer. Fall's going to be coming soon. It's going to be time to start prepping for fall very soon. And I'm ready. I am ready for fall. The heat is just too much here, and this drought is just nuts. So that's what this video is going to be about, and hope you all enjoy it. Having said that, let's do it. All right, so what I want to do right off the bat is just do kind of a visual of how the garden looks right now. There's JoJo out there chilling. She loves being out here with me. But as you can see, that's the garden right now. Looks pretty good in my opinion. So let's get into this garden tour. Here we go. Okay, so peppers. This whole thing is peppers. Now I have peppers all through here and one tomatillo plant right there. Okay, so today is August 1st, like I said a minute ago, and this is how the pepper bed looks today. Now, I've got some really good peppers growing out here. One that I'm upset about, or sad about, is that this one right here has not produced one pepper. It's produced flowers, but not peppers. So hopefully soon that thing will put one on, and we could do a taste test on that and make everybody laugh. So I do not like spice, not like that. But this is the pepper bed. Again, we've got bell peppers, giant Marcone peppers. I did harvest some peppers yesterday. I took some of this sweet banana peppers out of here, but this bed's doing pretty good, especially how it looked back in May. Okay, swinging over here, I've got squashes and some zucchinis back over here. Oh, okay, never mind. I never saw that. Look at that. First zucchini right there. Wow. All right, cool. Went ahead and put in some tomatillo plants because I really want to do tomatillo salsas this summer. All right, coming over to this bed. Now in May, as you all just saw, this was all zucchini and squash. Vine borers got all those plants. So now I've got beans growing in here. I do have a butternut squash right there. And I've got that mothball water next to it to keep the pests away from it. So I want it to grow. Now, one thing that has done good this year are these tomatillo plants. They've grown big, but I have not gotten a single tomatillo off of them. Now, the tomatillos are growing, as you can see right there, but I haven't got any fruit off this plant, off of any of these plants yet. It's a little discouraging, but hey, it is what it is. Now, I have found a bunch of hornworms at different times on the tomatillo plants. So as a reminder, you always have to be out here looking and searching for those little punks. Beans along this trellis right here haven't really done as great. Now, I did say when I was putting this up, I wasn't sure about how much sun they would get here. I did track 7 hours of sun though, but it's morning to afternoon sun. It's not that late sun. I don't know if that has contributed to what you're about to see with the beans, but if it has, it has. Drop some suggestions in the comments below if you have ideas of vegetables that would climb that I can plant right here, because the beans, they're about to come out. So I've got a bunch of different types of beans all along this trellis system, and most have turned to this. I mean, as you can see, they've all pretty much turned to this color. Okay, right behind me are the trellis systems that I put in. Now this right here, all of these, as you can see right here, are the Chinese red long beans that have gone all the way to the roof and that are now like hanging over. So this trellis system has worked out great so far. Now I did have, as you saw in the video, I did have some issues with the cucumbers at the beginning, but now they're doing good. Let me show you real quick. So as we come down, I don't really know what kind of beans these are, because just keeping it real, I did not put a sign down there to remind me what these are, but they are growing great. I've already harvested 3 handfuls of these beans off of these plants, and they are just killing it. But if we come down just a little further, we have more cucumbers, and they are doing fantastic right now. And then right here beside it is the potato bed, where I did the video on planting the potatoes. So yeah, I think I spoke too soon, because look at what has happened to the potatoes. And yes, I've got some hose over here because I'm about to totally update my irrigation system. But I don't know what happened to my potatoes, because y'all just saw what they were a month ago, and now look at them. Destroyed. I have no clue. Now, on a good note, I bought a banana tree. It's a miniature banana tree, so it only gets to about 4.5 feet tall. Can handle that. So we're gonna move over here to the sweet potato bed. As you just saw in that video, check it out now. Okay, so these are all beans that I just planted for nitrogen fixation, but all of these are sweet potatoes. We got Korean gold in the front and Okinawan purple in the back. Guava plant, papaya plant, some determinate tomatoes right there that have been doing really good. I'm actually surprised. Olive trees right there. The potato, part of the potato experiment that I did in that potato video, which I'll put a link right here. And then all of these are just regular sweet potatoes. And right over here, these two are the ones that were in the slips that I did the slip experiments on. We've got a few beans here in the front, again, nitrogen fixation. And then I had a volunteer actual potato. I'm sure this is just a store-bought golden potato coming up right there. So these are all doing great. And as you can see, as you saw from that last video, or as you saw from the May video, these beds are doing fantastic. Now what I'm really excited about, here's a banana tree, is right there. All of that is growth from those pantry potatoes, the one I did the video on last week or the week before. That is so encouraging. Makes me super, super happy. Biggest thing I learned from doing that pantry potato video is that if you have an idea of an experiment or a thought that something might work, go for it. Try it. You never know. It might actually work like that did. Or don't limit yourself in the garden. If you have an idea, just do it. Go for it. Why not? You have nothing to lose. Let's come over to this raised bed. Now, this is my very first cinder block bed that I planted. These kale, as you can see, are about done. Very first marigold of the year right there. Again, we got the beans coming in, and now all of these jalapeno plants are the hot ones, and they are growing. So planted in 2 places here because I've got tomatoes right here. These are my single seed challenge tomatoes for 2022. This is Moonlight on this side. This is Starbright right here. Okay, let's flip over here to this bed. Now, if y'all remember, these 2 plants right here are my single seed challenge 2022 plants. This one is Moonlight and that one is Starbright over there. And they are doing good. Now, they're still growing. They're not putting on fruit right now. It's just too hot. They're not flowering or anything, but they're still alive and thriving. So this is kind of my update video-ish for the Single Seed Challenge 2022 plants. I will do an actual update video on them coming very, very soon. I haven't decided if I'm keeping them or if they're coming out. I'll make that decision shortly though. But hey, companion planting, right? Purple basil going to flower, bringing in pollinators. And as we come on down, as I've been showing over the last couple of weeks, all the bees, and I showed again at the beginning of this video, that are in here, the pollinators are just going nuts in this bed, and I love it. I haven't been stung yet, and in fact I was in the middle of them yesterday harvesting jalapenos in here, and they did not care about me at all. But if we can look past all the peppermint, we've got eggplants that are finally growing in this bed, bunch of peppers, and let me get in there amongst the bees. Watch me get stung this time. More peppers growing right there. We got some cayenne peppers over there. I did cut out all the marigolds that were in here because they were just blocking the sun so bad. So that's why this gap is here. It's to get sunlight back in that way. So, but yeah, as you can see, this bed is doing fantastic. No complaints at all. And from May to today, this bed is doing great. Do have lots of roses, and then look at all those lantanas. Look at how beautiful that is. That entire corner is nothing but a giant pollinator beacon. Absolutely love it. And as I say that, I've got bees all around me. Okay. Garlic that I planted last year, these are about to come out. It's almost time to pull these. Video on that will be coming soon, which as they get bigger, I'll do a video on my tomatoes, because throughout the entire garden I've got, I want to say 9 different types of tomatoes. Could be wrong on that, but somewhere in that range. But these were all from seed. I'm going to let them grow and grow and grow. So we come down here. I did go get Bonnie plants because all the tomatoes that I planted from seed did not do as good as these. I lost a lot of them. And now we're going to start into the tomatoes. The tomatoes, 2 pepper plants, and more tomatoes. Just saw this corner compared to May is just phenomenal. I mean, look at that. We got rose bushes all the way to almost to the top of the fence line. We got lantanas growing like crazy in here. We've got those growing and just putting on beautiful purple flowers. And then right beside it here, we've got okra. Now I only did 2 rows of okra here, but look how tall these okras are. I mean, they're almost to the top of the fence line. Putting on these beautiful flowers. And then okras. So this one is doing really well. And as we shift on down, yes, I've got neem oil out because I've been getting hit sporadically with aphids. Now, I've said this in the past, whenever you get hit with aphids or any kind of a pest, you do not want to just do a complete nuke of the garden. You want to do a surgical strike on exactly where the pests are, not everything. Because remember, neem oil will also take out your beneficial insects or your beneficial pollinators, like all these over here that I just showed. I don't want to kill them. I only want to kill the aphids. So if you're going to use neem oil or any kind of a chemical, an organic chemical to take out your pests, just remember you want to do a very specific location, and you don't want to carpet bomb everything. All right, just helpful hint of the day. Okay, so as we swing down, these are all tomato plants. All of these from here all the way over here are tomato plants. Now they're still putting on tomatoes, not like they were before the heat got here, but they are putting on tomatoes, and they're all, for the most part, alive. Now I do have death in here. I mean, it's part of it, and I need to get in here and really trim this all up. I just haven't had time. But these plants are still alive. They're doing well. They're not thriving, but they're also not dying. So if you're wondering, hey, Chad, it's August 1st, and you still have these tomato plants in. Why didn't you just pull them and plant summer crops? Good question. But like I've said in some of the other videos, I chose to leave the tomato plants in because one, they're still alive. Two, they're really big and they're honestly not doing bad. I mean, they're still putting on new growth on the plants themselves. So I thought, why not leave them in? I already have a jump start on fall. Once the heat goes away and the plants start putting back on their flowers and start making tomatoes again, hey, I'll already be ahead of the game for fall. So this is kind of an experiment. We'll see this year how that idea works. And if it's a failure and none of these tomato plants put on any new flowers, then I'll know next year, hey, as soon as basically July 1st hits, yank them all out. So we'll see. Again, I like to experiment. I like to figure out my own way of doing things, and I don't want to always go with the grain. I like to go against the grain. Be a rebel. Okay, so as we shift past the tomatoes, we are now into another okra forest. And look at how tall these are. These are all the way at the top of the fence line. These are burgundy okra, and then these are emerald okras. Now, I harvested yesterday, so there's not really any out here for me to show. But what I can show, and this is why I have the neem oil out, it's because we have aphids right there. Bam. And they're on the flowers. So like I said a minute ago, I've been hitting the aphid problems in specific areas, just and move on. The thing with aphids is once you get them, you're going to have them. So I'm just trying to keep them in control, in check. You're never going to get rid of all of them as much as you wish you could. And then what really sucks is that yesterday I had a bunch of ladybugs all through these plants. Now y'all know ladybugs love aphids. But what sucks, okay, just let me show you. Okay, so as you can see right there, those are fire ants. And what they're doing is they're actually bodyguarding. Oh, there we go. Look at all those fire ants. What the fire ants are doing is they're guarding the aphids because the aphids produce this sticky substance. It's kind of like honey that the fire ants like to eat. So nature, aphids have a big enemy with ladybugs. Well, they somehow created a deal with fire ants to protect them. So nature is crazy. I know I always bring this up, but it's just, if this is your first time watching this channel and that's the first time you've heard this, then hey, I did my job. I taught y'all something. But to me, it's just crazy. Nature is just fantastic. So okay, so we're gonna move on down. Okra, beans. Again, nitrogen. I'm gonna put carrots in this section very soon, actually. More tomatoes, and as you can see, like I said, they're still putting tomatoes on. So the heat hasn't stopped it totally, but it's definitely stunted the tomato growth. I've got basil in here amongst the tomatoes for the companion planting aspect. And we're gonna keep shifting and okay, watermelon. All three different types of watermelon and a cantaloupe. Now right here, this plant right here is special. This seed came from a girl in the 2nd grade classroom who has adopted me and this channel to their class for the year. And I went ahead and planted it, hoping it would grow. And look at it. This is 9 days in. This cantaloupe seed has grown that much. So in about 2 weeks, I'm going to transplant it over here somewhere and get it in the ground. We're going to start seeing right here. Look at all of the watermelon vines that have just gone completely crazy over here. This is all watermelon vines that I've just let go. And if we look right down in here, got my second watermelon growing right there. And then my first one, the big one, is right back in there. Now this plant right here, that plant is a special plant. That's a cantaloupe plant, but that's Kate's cantaloupe plant. If you all remember at the end of the school year, the second grade class that I was a honorary member of, one of the little girls in that class gave me a bag of seeds from one of her cantaloupes that she had eaten, or that she had ate. And I decided to do a video. It was a short, a YouTube short on me planting that seed. And as you can see, that cantaloupe is doing great. That cantaloupe vine is doing really good. And so Kate, or Kate's mom, family, if y'all are watching, hey, that seed is doing fantastic. It's put on a great healthy plant. Peas. Now these have not taken off like I thought they would, but it is what it is. We'll see what they do. My garlics, again, more garlics that are about to come out soon. And then in here we've got eggplants. Now they have not taken off yet, but they will. These two are albino. These two right here are albino eggplants, and then these are the black beauties, these three. Swinging over, I'm going to be okra heavy this year. These are spineless Clemson, or Clemson spineless. And then these are a pink Okinawa okra. I'm excited to see what these do. All right, as you just saw, we're down to the last bed. Now this is my newest raised bed, cinder block raised bed that I've built, and it's doing really good. Finally, the soil took some time to get going for plants, but plants are finally starting to take off in this bed. So I'm very encouraged by that. But yeah, let's check it out. All right, pepper plants, bee balm, some flowers, got my rosemary going. It's important for Thanksgiving. Another pepper plant. I planted some okra here that I didn't know would even take off, and look, they're taking off, so that's cool. Another basil that I'm letting go to flower. And just like those other eggplants, these are finally starting to take off. They're putting on flowers. So hopefully we'll have fruit coming soon. Beautiful flowers, look at that. Just beautiful. All right, and then swinging next to it is another forest of okra. I mean, look at how good these look compared to how they looked in May. They are big, beautiful, putting on pods. Look at that one. I missed that one yesterday when I was harvesting. And we've got these Okinawan pink. Oh, I missed this one yesterday. So that's an Okinawa pink okra, just a beautiful okra. And I did a taste test on these the other day, and the Okinawan pink was my favorite. So next year I will probably only grow a certain type of okra, or one or two variations of okra to actually eat, but I will still grow the green ones just to keep stuff growing throughout the summer, because it's important to have stuff growing in your soil all the time. We got tomato plants coming down, seed flowers that I planted just to bring in the pollinators. And then this is the plant, the zucchini plant that I did the mothball water experiment on right there. And I am glad to say that it is putting on fruit. Got another one in here right there, putting on fruit right there. These almost look like cucumbers instead of zucchini, but it's supposed to be zucchini. I don't know. Oh, look at that. As we speak, a pollinator. That's awesome. Update on that experiment, the mothball water experiment. To this date, as we just saw, right now, I still do not have a single vine borer egg on that plant. Not at all. Not a single one. So I'm pretty sure I can safely say the mothball water experiment was a success, and I'll put a link to that video right here. All right, everyone, so that's the update video for August 1st, 2022 here on Down Home Backyard Gardening of my garden and what's going on. It is almost time to start transitioning to fall, or at least your mindset to fall. Now I know that sounds crazy because it's 100 degrees and it's so hot here, or maybe where you are, but for me, it's time for me to start transitioning, or to start thinking about transitioning. So in the next couple weeks, I'm going to do some videos on getting ready for fall, what to start planting, what to start thinking about, those kind of things, at least for me. And my advice for you all today on August 1st is, if you haven't thought about your fall crops yet, you need to start doing it. You need to get a list made, and you need to order your seeds if you have not done so already. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, get some ideas. If nothing else, I hope these videos just show you what you can do in a small backyard. Regardless of the size of your backyard, or if you're even on a patio, you can still garden. So use your imagination, throw some seeds in some dirt or some soil, and get planting. If y'all have not subscribed to the channel, I invite you to do so. Just click the subscribe button, hit that little bell so you're always notified. I do have a Facebook and Instagram page for Down Home Backyard Gardening. Go over and check that out. Like, share, and comment on the video. I would love to hear from y'all. And as always, shine bright and harvest hard.